Kia ora and welcome to Business Your Way, a podcast where I take you behind the scenes and look at the strategies, systems and support needed to grow and scale an online service business. One that not only supports you and your family financially, but one that gives you the freedom to live the life of your dreams. I'm taking the many lessons learnt over the last 2 decades of running my own business and working with hundreds of clients to bring you what's working now conversations. I'm pulling back the curtain to bring you real stories from real people, including myself. We're going to talk about everything from how to get clarity on your vision, creating systems so you can automate and delegate, how to hire a kick-ass team that creates raving, returning and referring clients. We're even going to talk about how to kick those limiting beliefs to the curb so that you can flourish in your business. I'm your host, Sandra Julian, an Indigenous mama of 3, fashion-loving sewist and business strategist. Each week, I want to help you dream big, plan well, and do the work to grow and scale your business your way. Kia ora and welcome back to another episode of Business Your Way. Can you believe it? We are well into December and this is the second to last episode for 2023. And so I wanted to make this episode a really special one because it's that time of the year when we get to reflect on what has been. And when we sit down and reflect on the year that was, and look at the lessons that we've learned and see how far we've come, we really give ourselves the opportunity to move into 2024 and set ourselves up for an unstoppable year. But if you're anything like me, you get to the end of the year and you just want to switch off. You want to close the laptop and go and enjoy the summer holidays. This is a time of year that I really enjoy. It's the one time of the year where my brain can really switch off. I don't have to think about work for a good 2-3 weeks. And it's just so refreshing and re-energizing all at the same time, even though it's the holiday season and all of the things are happening. We're getting ready for Christmas. Christmas trees have got to go up, presents to buy, food to buy, menus to plan. All the things are happening in our personal life as we get ready for our summer holidays. But for me, it's just the best time of the year because I get to recharge and re-energize, ready to come back for an unstoppable new year. So as I sit here reflecting on my own journey in 2023, I really do realize just how valuable it is to reflect on where we've been, because reflection can be the biggest catalyst for our transformative change moving forward. And every quarter I review with my team, so it's not like I only do a review once a year. I review my business with my team every quarter. We celebrate our wins, the learnings from our challenges that we experienced in the quarter, what served us, what didn't serve us. And when we do that reflection on the quarter, it helps us decide on our rock-solid plan for the next quarter. But I think the end of the year review is one that we want to do as a business owner. This is something that we should take time to do outside of our team. Because let's be honest, our team are focused on the role that they play inside of our business. They see our business through the role or through the lens of their role. And don't get me wrong, that can be super helpful. And I find that super helpful when we are reflecting on our quarters and we're planning in the next quarter. Having the team involved in that gets everyone on board and it gives us things to aim for in that quarter and we can go at it as a team. But as a small business owner, we need to take some time to step back from the delivery and really review our business against our vision. Is our business really performing the way that we had envisaged? Is it living up to the vision that we had at the beginning of the year? Are we making strides towards enabling our vision? And I find at this time of the year, you can really sit back and say, does my business give me what I want? Or is my business a soul-sucking creature that I've got nothing left for any other aspect of my life after I've given it all to my business? So in today's episode, I wanted to give you some questions so that you can coach yourself and unveil what's beneath the surface. I'm going to give you some tasks that will require some data gathering so that you can evaluate the performance. And those questions are black and white, yes, no, did we reach it, did we not, did it perform, did it not? Like, those questions are really black and white, and metrics help us make really good decisions. But I think the important questions are the coaching questions. These are the questions that unveil what's below the surface. They unveil our emotions and our thinking, and then we can really reflect on the decisions that we made and the actions that we took because of those emotions. So if you're ready, let's get started. These are really juicy questions that I can't wait to share with you. But if you're listening to the podcast in your car while you're driving, which is what I often do, or you might be out walking the dog or taking a run, don't worry. I've bullet pointed all of these questions in the show notes, so you can make some time in your calendar, put aside at least an hour, maybe a little bit more. I think this exercise deserves a little bit more. This is not an exercise that we should rush through and say, I'm done. I think this is the time of the year where we give ourselves the space to really reflect and go deep and examine our own behaviors and our own actions that we took because of the emotions that we experienced. So allocate some time in your diary. Find a quiet moment where there's just you. I would suggest that you get out of your office, get out of the space that you usually work in, and go sit outside for a bit. Or go sit in the sun. Go sit in a bay window with the sun streaming in. Go and take some time where it is a space that you feel reflective in. Create the environment that you want for this exercise. Alrighty, here we go. Here are your first lot of questions. And I want to start with the self-reflection questions, because self-reflection is a powerful way to uncover those hidden emotions and gain deeper insight to your own thoughts and behaviors. It's even better when you can do this with a coach, because when you do it with a coach, all you have to do is talk. It's your coach's job to listen and listen for the key points and ask you poignant questions that will cause you to go deeper. I know when I sit down with my coach, the thoughts that I reveal during those coaching sessions, I don't think I would have ever unveiled the emotions beneath the surface if I hadn't had those probing questions from my coach. So a coaching session might be something that you want to consider. And if that's what the path that you want to go down, and you just want to have a conversation and have me ask you the questions that unveils the deeper learning, then head on to the show notes. I will put a link in the show notes where you can book in a one-off coaching session. And come, let's chat. Let's unveil, or let's do this reflection session together so you can go deeper than what you would on your own. But if you just want to take these questions and self-coach, here we go. I've got 5 questions for you to reflect on. And as you answer these questions, I want you to notice what emotions are coming up for you and how those emotions may have impacted the action that you took. This is the work when you do self-coaching, is to notice the emotions and then what actions did you take because of them. All right, question number 1. What achievements, big or small, brought you the most joy this year? What made you the most joyous? Make a list of them. There might have been more than one. They don't have to be massive achievements. They could be very small, but they brought you the most joy in your business. And then there is a part B to this question. And this is where I want you to ask yourself, why? Why did it bring you joy? What was it about that achievement that just sparked joy? All right, question number 2. What challenges did you face this year? There might have only been a handful, or there might have been a few more than that. Just bullet point them, list them. What were the challenges that you faced this year? And then part B to this question. Examine each of those challenges on your paper and then ask yourself, what did that experience teach you? What was it about that particular challenge that was the lesson that you took away? Question number 3. Were the actions that you took in your business aligned to your values? This for me is a really big question. And here's why it's great, because when you reflect on where you felt completely aligned to your values, then you have a starting point to think about how you can enhance that experience across your business. I don't think we think about this question enough. We don't think about how we enact our values. So this is a really good question. Were the actions that you took in your business this year aligned to your values? And where you felt completely aligned, I want you to think about how you can then enhance that experience across your business. Alrighty, question number 4. Was your life and business experienced in the proportions that you had set yourself at the beginning of the year? And this is where I don't want to say, did you achieve your work-life balance? Because balance is has a different meaning for everyone. So I like to think about this in portions. You decide what your life and business portions are for the year that creates the life that you want to live. So I want you to ask yourself, was your life and business experienced in the proportions that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year? And then part B to this question is, why was that? And what adjustments do you need to make, or could you make in the upcoming year for life and work to be in balance for you, whatever that means for you? And then question number 5. Were the decisions that you made this year aligned to the vision that you have for your business? And then I want you to ask yourself why or why not. So if your decisions were aligned with your vision, why was that? What made that happen? What did you do where you ensured that the decisions that you made were completely aligned with the vision that you had for your business? Or if the decisions were off and they weren't always aligned to your vision, then ask yourself, why not? Why weren't those decisions aligned with my vision? What needs adjusting? I wanted to jump in here really quickly and ask you for a big favor. If you are loving this podcast and this episode, I would be grateful if you could share it with a friend. Or even better yet, jump over onto Instagram and share it on your stories. Don't forget to tag me, I'm sandrajulian.co. That really is the best way for others to find out about this podcast, and I thank you in advance. Alrighty, back to the episode. All right, my friend, the next lot of questions are business metrics. These are the black and white. These are the things that will help us make better decisions about what we do in our business. So I've got 4 questions that I want you to reflect on, but they will require you to get some data. They'll require you to go and gather some information from your accounting system, and they'll require you to go back and look at the plan that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year. So question number 1, go back to the goals that you set at the beginning of the year and ask yourself, did you achieve these goals? And this is a yes-no question. Did I achieve goal 1? Yes, no. Did I achieve goal 2? Yes, no. And maybe rather than going yes, no, give yourself a percentage. Did I achieve this goal? I got 75% there. Wasn't 100, but I made a start. I find that a better response to this question around did I achieve my goals? Sometimes it's not just a black and white yes or no. It is, I got 80% there. Or yes, 100% tick that off. Or that's 0%, I never even made a start on it. So assess your goals in percentages and then reflect on why the goal was achieved or why it wasn't achieved. If you 100% knocked it out of the park, why was that? I don't think we reflect on that question enough either. When we really achieve something and we can tick it off our list, we don't sit back and reflect on why was that? What was it about that goal that made that 100% achievable? Or what was it about that goal why we only got to 80%? All right, question number 2 is all about your growth metrics. Now, hopefully you have some way of recording these growth metrics throughout the year, so these numbers are easy for you to access. Otherwise, it might take you a little while to gather this information. But trust me, it will be well worth it when you do. There are 4 key metrics that I want you to record. Some of them you could record how many new subscribers have you got to your email list. You could record how many you had at the beginning of the year, how many you had at the end of the year. The other metrics are how many new leads did you get this year? So how many people got on a discovery call with you and inquired about your services? And then how many sales invitations did you make this year? And by sales invitations, I mean how many proposals did you issue? Like how many proposals did you send? And maybe your business, you don't send proposals. Maybe you send quotes. However your sales invitation is, how many of those did you send this year? And then how many new clients or new projects did you get into your business this year? So my business, I measure by projects because probably most of my projects are repeat businesses. So I have clients who come back and work with me again and again and again. So I don't measure this metric by new clients. I measure it by how many new projects did we get to work on this year. Because then with these metrics, I can stack them up year on year. So I can take a look back in the last 3 years and go, how many new leads did I get this year compared to last year compared to the year before? How many proposals did I send this year compared to last year compared to the year before? You get my drift, right? And then I can also take a look at how many new leads did I convert into a proposal, a sales invitation? And how many of my proposals did I convert into new projects? So I might not have sent more sales proposals this year than last year, but we worked on more projects this year because I converted more of the proposals. So my conversion rate was much higher this year than last year. So then I know that the work that I did on improving my sales invitation or my proposal process, I've nailed it. It worked because I've increased my sales conversion. So these metrics tell you a lot about your business. It highlights the areas for improvement. It shows you where you should put your efforts in order to grow your business. So the question 2 is all about your growth metrics. Question number 3 is all about your financial performance. So for each month of the year, I want you to understand or record just on a piece of paper. So maybe across the top of the paper, you've got a column for revenue, a column for expenses, and a column for profit. And then down the page, rows are broken down into months of the year, January through December. So then I want you to complete that table. What was the revenue for January, the expenses for January, the profit for January, and repeat that for every month of the year. Now you've got this information in front of you. The question to ask yourself is, what were your best performing months and why? Why is the key to the question. And then what were your worst performing months and why? When you can understand what were the levers that created your best performing or worst performing months, then you can answer the question, what needs adjustment? What do you need to change going into 2024? And then the last question, the last metrics question for you is, what product or service generated the most revenue for you this year? What do you need to focus on selling more of? And what do you need to stop or reduce the selling or stop selling? That was a weird way to say all of that. But what do you need to sell more of and what do you need to sell less of? Because when we understand what products are generating us revenue, we can add fuel to that fire and create growth through that product. And we can stop putting our energy into products that aren't returning us a financial gain. If we don't know this, we can put a heap of time and energy into services that just aren't that profitable. So that's why this metric is really important. So there you go, my friend. If you take the 9 questions that I've given you in this podcast episode and really dive deep into them, you will have some great information, some great data. You will understand yourself. You will understand your business a whole lot better. And you will have some great information for when you come into the new year and put your plan for 2024 together. All right, my friend, all the best with your reflections. I would love to hear some of the things that you learned about yourself or about your business as you did this exercise. I'm going to put a link to a video ask so that you can reach out to me. Tell me about how this exercise worked for you. And again, I want to invite you to a coaching call. If you want somebody else to help you reflect and really dive deep to what's under the surface, then I encourage you to get on a coaching call with me. Again, I will put a link to book a coaching call into the show notes. All right, my friend, I will be back next week with the final episode for 2023. Before you go today, I want to thank you for being here and listening all the way to the end. All the links to this week's episode can be found in the show notes, and you can read a full blog of the episode at sandrajulian.co/podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button and get new episodes as soon as they're released. If you'd like to reach out to me and chat about anything on today's episode or any of the previous episodes on the podcast, then I've got a link in the show notes so you can leave me a voice message or a video message. I really do look forward to hearing from you. Alrighty, have a productive week and I will talk to you again real soon.